Welcome to Model Engineers Laser. My name is Holly and this is part 33 of our jack build. We are continuing to assemble our jack after we've had it all back from painting. The next job that we're going to do, before we forget, is these are the shafts from the expansion links. Now, if you remember, for those who've been following along for some time, there's some star washers to go on the end of those. However, we didn't put them on at the time because once they're on, they're a nightmare to get off, and we didn't want to put them on if we had to take this apart because of running it. It didn't run smoothly and it needed some tweaking, but we've done all that now and we know it doesn't need any more tweaking. Hopefully it's all behaving itself. So we're going to put these on now. That came, there we go, and they will only really go on one way quite easily. If you have to fight it to put it on, you're putting it on the wrong way. I'm trying to find the best way for you to see what I'm doing. There we go. I'll do it on this one down here. And then if I show you, they're actually curved. So this one, the smoother edge, not the open edge, it's going to go on this way around. It's just a matter of, let's twist that out of the way slightly to give it a, whoops. She says if it doesn't go on easy, you've got it on the wrong way around. It's not particularly behaving like that. You'll see that the camera's changed angle. It's because, as you know from some of my other videos, I'm hypermobile. My fingers bend in a funny joint and I actually quite struggled and I started to doubt myself. So Ed helped me with that last one. It was a little bit tougher than I was anticipating and has told me to use, not very successfully, a spanner to protect my fingers and get it on without causing too much mischief. Which is really hard to do without knocking the camera over. I don't think you've been able to see much anyway. Can you still see that? Yeah, you can. When I started these videos, I said, oh, it's going to be really realistic. I'm going to leave in all the errors and everything that goes wrong, including keeping dropping bits. Oh, you biter. No, you're going to have to do that one as well, Ed. I'm just not strong enough. There you go. They're on now. I did have to get Ed to do them. I just wasn't strong enough for my bendy fingers. Right, let's put that down to protect my paintwork. Next we are going to tighten and fix our boiler bands. We're going to put some new bolts on them, so it's got me some new ones. Now there's two lengths here. We've got 12mm ones and 16mm ones, because we weren't sure how long. We think we can get away with a 12, however we need to get them tight, get them there first, so it might be that we start off with the 16 and then move them over a bit at a time to the 12 so they're not unnecessarily long. Oh, sorry, just kick the camera. There we go. So I'm just using the longer ones for now to get a tight fit on them. Just to hold it in place while we get going. So what I'm going to do is get them as tight as I can, where I can still manipulate the bodywork over the boiler to make sure that it's sat where I want it to be. Then once I've done that, I'll tighten them up so they're in place and then slowly replace them with smaller ones where I can. That's the plan anyway. Oh, you drop the nut down the bodywork and you lose it down the side. There it is. Just using this to protect the paintwork a little bit. Right, there we go. Get some. Not got much time on that one. They're fairly tight, so the next job is to just sort of manipulate that around the boiler. I can't do this on camera, I need to use my body weight. So I had to lean it against my body to get some weight behind it, which is why you didn't see what I had done. But in doing so, I didn't realise there was residual water in the boiler, so I'm actually covered in water now. I have decided not to swap any of these out. We've tightened them up. I've tightened them up. They don't need to be too tight because it's brass, so it'll just bend if you do it too tight. But as you can see, that's all nice and snug on there now. I'm going to put a short one in there just because it has the facility to. The next job I'm going to do is to fit the last brass band. Now if you remember, we didn't send that one off for painting. It's going to have a brass band between the boiler and the cab, and this holds the support here for it. So this one's a little bit trickier. I'll come around the other side and hopefully you can see what I'm doing. This has been in storage a little bit. You know, these videos have taken me a while to do between the life of the universe and everything happening. So that's had a bit of a clean up. This needs to go on and kind of in place between the plumbing and my paintwork. She says, saying, please don't scratch my new lovely paintwork. Now when this goes round, we need to trap this underneath it. Now we also have to be careful because this isn't going to be tightened up until it is back on our chassis, and these are going to be in the way. So we need to make sure that we put the nut and bolt in the right way round to enable us to have access to it, which is actually the other way around to what I've currently done. Not a lot of clearance between that and that, which is kind of the point of the band, to hold it in place. So one of two things, you can be careful of which way around you put those, which is the first option I'm going to try. The other one is that you do it slightly off centre, so this setup is actually sticking out the side towards your opposite side. But I'm going to try it without first. I'm just going to loosely hold it in place first. Just to catch it, and then it's going to sit round there. And I need to get that. So I'm trying to line it up with the edge of this and the edge of that, and we'll turn it round. Do the same on that side. Just keep tweaking as you go around, and now it's time to tighten it. Just checking for movement before I go too much further. Oh, there was a rogue nut in there from earlier. Don't need that one on there. There we go. That's that. All in place. Now it is time to put the boiler on. Hopefully for the last time it will stay on. Actually it'll probably need to come off to do a bit of tweaking for this activity. So watch my paintwork. So I need to make sure that boiler slides in the smoke box fully. Why are you not going down?
fouling on something. Or I've just been feek and weeble. No, it's definitely fouling on something. What I'm trying to do, because I'll probably end up taking it off camera as I'll manipulate it, is I want to make sure that this goes in all the way here. Let's bring it in shot a bit more. This goes in all the way here. I want to make sure my boiler dome is actually pointing skyward, because at the moment it is not. So once this is all in alignment, as you can see, it currently isn't. I then need to make sure that this mount is in the right place, and that's going to need some tweaking, because then that settles through on this plate here. So I'm just going to do some tweaking off camera, because it's going to be easier to save the camera shaking all over the place. So she's in. It wasn't easy. What we've had to do is on the boiler support here, we've had the Dremel at it and opened it up a little bit more, I think, just because of the layers of paint or whatever. We've got too much of a tight clearance. Ed says he's going to adjust the drawing, and you can tell it was close because it took some of my paint, and I'm really sad. So it might be smiling sweetly at Matt for a bit of a touch up there to stop me pouting, but it's in. I've put the dome back on to help me align it up with the chimney, and if I turn it round now, you can see that this support is on the wonk. So I need to undo that boiler band as we talked about earlier, making sure that it's accessible, which it is. So I can undo it and tweak it slightly to spin that round, hopefully without actually moving the boiler. Now I've got it lined up. I'm just gonna I feel coming undone, that's nice. And then just line up like that. I have got these spacers that go underneath that are going to help me line up. That's not too bad, actually. I think I've got it. Right, so now I will tighten that band back up. Let's check that that's not spinning at the back. There we go. Now it's an M3 that we put through there to hold that all in place. Last time we did this, it was in a build frame, and it's not in a build frame now, and everything's loose, and I don't want it to move, so this is going to be a little bit tricky. I have my M3 that I want to take in through the bottom, because the aluminium bit we tapped to hold it in place. So this is just going to be a matter of one, hopefully getting it on camera, and two, try not to move everything. There's one support plate already moved. These have had a coat of paint, I think, since last time you saw them as well. Those little supports, I think they were just blank pieces of steel before. To be honest, I'm just going by eye and feel to see. There we go.
feel it biting through the alley plate that's tapped. So now it's all biting. Tighten it up a bit. It's all moved. Let's get it to bite again and then line it all up. Nope. Nope. That's all moved now. Lining it up was absolutely pointless exercise. It looks like it's too far forward, but it shouldn't be. Finally got it all threaded through. It was a matter of, honestly, opening the hole up a little bit on the bottom of the footplate. Don't understand why it wasn't lining up. Even called his lordship in to have a look, and he couldn't understand why, because it all went together beautifully before. So we've opened the hole up with the Dremel just to be able to reach through the bottom, and in doing so everything twisted, so we've we moved it back again, tightened it again, twisted it again, tightened it again. So it's just a matter of playing with it really until it was all in the right place. Next is plumbing it all back together. So I'm going to get myself a screwdriver and put the burner back on. No, hopefully, let's see if I can line this up a bit better for you. Hopefully that's a bit better. Now, from the earlier video, if you remember, there's the cutout in the burner there. That we need to slide that through. The washers are still holding their place on the plate for us as we screw it back into the aluminium frame. Or not. More fingers and thumbs these past few days, getting easier. Lined up. Get the next one lined up. Oh, I remember this time, last time. I feel like it's going together a lot quicker than it did first bit. I don't know if that's because I've got used to it, or if it just looks more like an engine there, so it looks more like a finished engine. It doesn't feel like it's a bigger project to complete. Hopefully you saw all that go together, and then we can attach that back together. So we have a gas flow. There we go. The next job is to reattach these two fittings here. However, when we did the first fit, it was fine until we put the cab on, and then it wasn't fine. So we've had to take it off to get the cab to fit, and then we were going to bend it to make everything fit together, and we never did. So this bit's going to be interesting. We've re-annealed this part to allow us to bend it without, while reducing the risk of it kinking, which you're never going to get out again if it does kink, and also makes it actually easier to do. I've done a bit of bending to try and get it to fit, and hopefully we'll have done it enough. That's cross-threaded. There we go. That's got it. No. There we go. Right. Sorry, camera's wobbling all over the place because I'm trying to get it in shot and done. Not very successfully. That's that one lined up. Come on, please play nicely. Come on, out it the other way. I always get the wrong end first. Not even lined up.
we go. And then very carefully. There we go. And having put the drain and the fill back in, I will call that video it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all the normal YouTube nonsense that goes with that. And we'll see you in the next video.